And the Blazers, they obtained the number 3 pick in that lottery. And what they've said is that they're actually putting it on the market, right? They said that they're considering moving it to try and build a contending roster around Damian Lillard, right? So I wanted to ask you, Antoine, do you trust the Trailblazers to build a championship roster around Damian Lillard, at this point?
Well,
And
I don't
is
necessarily know if it should be a championship roster, but they're really young. Damon's in his prime. You don't want to let a talent like this go, even though they've made some playoff runs with him. You want to have a chance to see if you can win the championship. So you want to put that type of team around him. So I love that thought process of trying to actually put some pieces around. Y'all got to understand, it's tough. No big free agents is signed in Portland. I'm just going to keep being honest. I mean, It's not a great place to live. It's nice. I mean, free agents don't want to go there, no matter how good Dame is. But players like that be able to go to good restaurants, have a little nightlife. Portland's tough, man. So you got to do it. You have to do it through trades and through the draft to build those teams. And that's the tough part about running the Portland Trail Blazers organization, especially in this new age of players. Guys want to go where they can, where they can have a little nightlife, where it's a little bit more better. The weather, the weather's better. So it's not a really big free agency spot, regardless of what's going on in the court. And you may not want to talk about it, wait not a minute. Players look at that type of stuff. So it's tough for Portland to get other good players around Damian Lillard. They're going to have to do it through trade. You're going to have to bring guys there through the trade. And that's the only way I can see it happen. I don't just see a free agent signing to go play with Dame. And Dame is an unbelievable, terrific talent. But look at LaMarcus Aldridge. He left. I mean, it's just tough, man. I mean, it's hard to attract big-time free agents in Portland. So that's why drafting is really important for them. And if you can make a trade to bring another superstar there, you have to do it.
I also just feel like we have this conversation about the Portland Trailblazers every season. Every season they're going to do something to go ahead and build a roster around Dame. Every season they're going to go ahead and try to make Dame happy. And every season they fail. So I'm just kind of confused, like, exactly what do they think they're going to accomplish? Like, unless you land somebody, getting a rookie is not going to help him, right? So which is why they're interested in trading their third pick. Because you can't rely on a rookie to be the difference maker with this Portland team, because you need somebody who has the experience, who can play with Dame right now, who can hit the ground running. Who's that going to be? Who's out there that you can trade that number 3 pick for? Like, who's going to be the difference maker that makes this a championship roster? I can't think of a player that's available for them to do that with.
And I agree with you as well. But then you don't want to give up a couple young pieces that you already have on your roster that can be good in the future.
Right.
So that's what really makes it tough for Portland. But one thing about it, Dame has to be more vocal with other superstars in the league. I'm pretty sure he has great relationships with other guys. And, that's when you have to try to sell it. Like, we can win one together. That's where those relationships come in at. And if Dame is able to do that. But if not, that's why we had so much conversation about maybe Dame should just leave Portland. Because it's hard for him to get a running mate. I mean, CJ McCullough left. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And CJ McCullough had good chemistry, but he left. LaMarcus Aldridge. So he's lost his good players over the last 3 to 4 years to play alongside him. So, this year, obviously, they played well with the young group. But it's really hard to attract a big-time free agent to Portland. I'm sorry. A lot of people don't want to live in Portland. I mean, people don't want to talk about that. Players may not come out publicly and say that, but where they live at and where they're going to spend their time, so that matters. And no matter what's going on, they want to play in nice cities. And not saying Portland's not a nice city, but it's not the most attractive city in the NBA.
You don't want to live there. You just gotta want to visit, pass through, go home.
For real.
Play your 2 games a year there, huh? And get out of there.
We'll put there. It's Portland, Milwaukee. Let me think.
Milwaukee ain't bad. You're down the street from Chicago. Minnesota.
OKC. Minnesota, definitely.
Yeah, I'll say Minnesota.
Minnesota for sure.
It's freezing.
Ash, how you know about these cities, Ash? You traveling the world?
I'm just like, I see the skyline of the games, and that's enough for me.
Yeah, right, like the little B-roll that they cut to.
I can make the adjustment based on the skyline. When they gotta show like the one building and then everything around it's flat, it pretty much tells me all I need to know. So.
Nah, I'm not that's what you.
Antoine,
you're right though.
You think Damian Lillard just eventually say enough is enough and then relocate, or do you really think he'll retire a Trailblazer?
I really think he's gonna retire a Trailblazer. I think the window for him to leave. I think the window for him to leave was now. this season. But I mean, obviously they're maxing him out. He's making the most money. I mean, they're paying him top dollar, so they're not cheating him in the contractual department. But if he wants to win a championship, it's probably not going to happen in Portland.
Yeah.
And I think Dame has probably made that decision that, I still can I'm going to be a Hall of Fame player. I'm have a great career. I've made a ton of money, and I'm at a place where organization's been loyal to me. The fan base has been loyal to me, and that may be good enough for him. You never know. Maybe towards the end, maybe his last year, even though his number is going to be really high with how much money he makes, maybe he takes a buyout and maybe go play for a championship on a young team that has a chance to win. But he's very loyal to that organization. He's going to stay there. And it's just unfortunate. It's just not a big free agency spot. And, he's going to have to continue to get on the phone and keep trying to, lure talent to come there because it's tough. And what's bad is they're actually an average to good team. So they don't even get great draft picks, because they're in the middle of the road. So they don't even get an opportunity to get a top 5 pick. So that's what's really bad about it. But I think Dame's going to stay there. Obviously, when he didn't move after this contract, I think he's going to stay there completely. I think he's content with that. I think he's content with being a Hall of Fame point guard. And if he never gets an opportunity to play for a championship, I think he's probably came to mentally that may not happen. But he's at a place that the organization's been loyal to him and gets an opportunity to really, be that franchise best player to ever play there. I mean, we used to always talk about Clyde Drexler and all those guys, and Portland's had a lot of great superstars, but Dame would go down as the best Portland Trailblazer ever. That might be the bottom line, his title. And obviously he's a great player in the league.
Well, it is interesting. Dame has been tweeting some things. And there's one tweet where somebody said, muting all of you that are undervaluing the Blazers' number 3 pick and insisting on trading Dame. What's wrong with you all? You think we suffered this long to go out like that? Goodbye. And Dame responded, quote tweeted, if the fans want to trade me, start the petition and send it in. The next tweet was a response to that. And someone said, LOL, you ain't low. You want to leave, but trying to get the fans to push you out. He says, hey, I've been on the same team for over a decade. LOL. I'm just saying, if the people got different wishes, so be it. Shrugging. Anyone want to Twitter dissect that?
Right. Well, I mean, it was the part where I think it was somebody's comment saying, "Yeah, smooth. Like you trying to get the like the fan base to push you out now."
But you know what though, for Dame, even for them to, I mean, obviously Dame would go with he probably can get 3 players for Dame or 3 players and some picks for that type of talent. So it depends if they go to Dame and say, look, we're not going to be in position. We tried hard to put people around you. We can't get anybody to come here, but we want to take care of you. You've been loyal to this organization, and we want to restart or reboot. I think that's something that they could think about. Hey, look, we're going to get you to a situation that you want to be in, but we're going to demand a lot for you. But we're going to give you an opportunity to go somewhere else and maybe win a championship because it's very tough for us to, to obviously put somebody in the free agent market around you, and we got to rebuild through the draft. And that's something that they can obviously entertain, but that would probably have to come from Dame. If he, and obviously he probably doesn't want to do that because the team has gave him 2 max contracts. They've been very loyal to him. It's his show. They've tried their best to build around him. So it may be something that he may not want to entertain, but it all depends. I think that's something that both the organization and Dame will really have to sit down and talk about, because if they're not able to lure a big-time free agent to go alongside of him, the Western Conference in the league is too tough. They won't be able to make a real championship run.
Yeah, no, we'll see. We'll see what happens with. I mean, that was an interesting update that Ashley just gave us. So we'll see what happens with Dame Lillard and the Portland Trailblazers.